Hello friends, welcome to my talk on superstition. So let's start with what is superstition? A belief or practice resulting from ignorance, fear of the unknown, trust in magic or chance, a false conception of something which never happened. Friends, there is a very thin line between faith and superstition, meaning faith of one person can be superstition of another person and vice versa. So it's really important to understand the difference between faith and superstition. Friends, let's have a look at some popular superstitions around us. If black cat crosses way of Samir, Samir doesn't move forward and he returns back from there only. It's wonderful. Newly married Ritika was quite happy with her husband and in-laws, but all of a sudden in a few days there were some drastic changes in her body, like feeling dizziness, psychological stress, acidity, etc. Ritika's mother-in-law met a Baba in a nearby village. Baba blamed Ritika's auntie for change in her body. Also, Baba gave a talisman to wear around her neck, and Baba asked to keep closed all eastern face windows and door of her house. Isn't that wonderful? 32 years unmarried Popotlal is good for nothing. But to start his marriage life, he is used to wear a black magical necklace given by a Bengali Baba. Teacher of the village suggested Popotlal to do some business or job instead. It's wonderful, isn't it? Row number 13 is always empty in a flight which is flying from South Africa to Germany. Row number 17 is almost empty in a flight which is flying from Brazil to Italy. People of these countries are believing number 13 and number 17 as sign of bad luck. To continue business, airlines had removed row number 13 and row number 17 from some of their flights, meaning row number 12 is exactly next to row number 14. Rajdeep is popular builder of the city. All the flats of his newly 25-floor building have been sold out just in 1 month. But he couldn't find even a single customer who is interested to book a flat on 13th floor. Finally, Rajdeep renamed that floor from floor number 13 to floor number 12A, and within a week, all the 4 flats of floor number 13 have been sold out. Wonderful, isn't it? To run a good business, somebody suggested shopkeeper Sardul Kaka to hang 1 lemon and 7 chilies together at entrance of his shop. That's wonderful. After seeing flying bats or birds or barking dogs in middle of the night, Kanji Kaka feels the death of his sick mother in near future. Isn't that wonderful? Praneeth, who is born and brought up in Western world, is not used to go to his office if 13th day of any month falls on Friday. He holds all important activities on that day. Isn't that wonderful? Due to not having education line on Nirav's palm, reputed teacher Mansukh Lal declined to offer education to Nirav. Isn't that wonderful? After 3 failed attempts in last year college examination, 1 year college dropped out, Rahul's mother met a priest of her city. Priest blamed planet Rahu for Rahul's education failure. To remove the curse, priest asked them to offer 4 coconuts, apply sandalwood on his forehead, offer food to fishes and lake, chant a mantra 108 times given by the priest. Rahul and his mother have put the education B-side for last 1 year and they are busy in following the rituals suggested by the priest. For your information, Rahul is having 3 girlfriends and he is fond of having long drives with his sports bike. While sleeping at night, Neha feels unsafe by seeing lizard or snake in her dreams. She feels that somebody is trying to harm her. Isn't that wonderful? By seeing fish in dreams while sleeping, Anjali Ben gets to know about pregnancy of her nearest relatives or friends. Isn't that wonderful? Rituals follower Kanji Kaka is not used to cut his hair or to shave his beard or to cut his nails on every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Isn't that wonderful? Mother Silpa is used to take a black mark behind ear of her beloved 1-year-old son Karthik. That's wonderful. On auspicious occasions like marriage, Lalji Kaka is used to gift money in incomplete number, meaning instead of donating $100, he is used to gift $101. Instead of gifting $500, he is used to gift $501. Lalji Kaka believes that by gifting money in complete number, relationship ends. And by gifting money in incomplete number, there is a chance of extending relationship even further. Friends, after all this modernization and enlightenment has taken place in science and technology, superstitious beliefs still persist in our society. Every one of us to some extent do believe in absurd superstitions. Now if I ask you one question, are you a superstitious? If your answer is yes, then you are not alone, and if your answer is no, then you might not want to accept it. From the dawn of human existence, people have held superstitions. Legendary cricketer Sachin Tendulkar was used to wear his left pad first before going on his batting. Most of the sportspersons are used to put their right leg first over the field. Bollywood megastar Amitabh Bachchan is used to wear a ring of opal, blue sapphire and emerald in his pinky finger. Mr. Bachchan believes that this ring is a classical combination of 3 planets which helps him to have powerful communication skills, wonderful personality, good health and wealth, good luck and limitless energy. Many politicians, sportspersons, athletics, gamblers, academicians, etc. are not an exception in believing in superstitions. Friends, perhaps now you might be thinking that despite all these superstitions are just a waste, why people are still following it? Reason number 1, ego protection. The human mind can sometimes go to great lengths in order to protect the ego. According to psychology, we have several ego defense mechanisms that kick in whenever our ego is threatened. One of these mechanisms is blaming external factors for the shortcomings that we are personally responsible for. For example, newly married Ritika was quite happy with her husband and in-laws. But all of a sudden, in a few days, there were some drastic changes in her body, like feeling dizziness, psychological stress, acidity, etc. Ritika's mother-in-law met a Baba in a nearby village. Baba blamed Ritika's auntie for the change in her body. Friends, it's 1,000 times easier to blame others than to admit that the fault lay in our own thinking or our methods. A person may cling to his or her superstition just because it helps to protect ego. Reason number 2 why people are believing in superstition is false cause bias. One of the major cognitive biases in human beings is the false cause bias, which states that when 2 events occur in succession, we are used to think that the preceding event is the cause of succeeding event. For example, while going to office, a black cat crossed way of Rohit and soon after he met with a road accident, and his one leg was broken. While laying on hospital bed, Rohit was thinking that because of black cat's cross of his way, he met with an accident. When Amit watches cricket, India loses the match. When Rahul turns on TV, a wicket falls. If I give you one scientific example, then while installing a game on your computer, if your computer crashes, then we are used to think that computer is crashed because of game installation. But the fact can be different as well. Perhaps it may be computer is crashed because of some operating system problems. Reason number 3 why people are believing in superstition is lack of courage. Courage is the most rare personality trait of a human. No, I am not talking about the courage needed to fight a bully, but I am talking about the courage needed to believe that you are responsible for whatever happens in your life. Because of having lack of this courage, most of the people get trapped in superstitions. Reason number 4 why people are believing in superstition is the need to fill in the gaps. Human beings have a strong desire to explain things and fill in the gaps. And when we can't explain things with a reason, we resort to superstition. For example, after 3 failed attempts in last year college examination, 1 year dropped out, Rahul's mother met a Baba to remove her son's education curse. Uneducated Baba blamed planet Rahu for Rahul's failure in education. Instead of explaining the way of success in education, Baba started to fill in the gaps to protect his ego and flesh. Reason number 5 why people are believing in superstition is the need for control. The need to explain things is strongly tied to the need for control. What we can explain, we can usually control. When we have control, we feel powerful. Without control, we are powerless. In earlier days, kings were used to spread superstitions in our societies to get control over the things. After spending a very bad day, while laying on bed at night, Sunil thought that why his day was so bad today. His right leg got strained, a big order from a customer just got cancelled, a very high selling product supply gets stopped. After coming back to home in the evening, the fight with his wife and scolding kids, etc. All of a sudden, he remembered that these all things are happening with him because one beggar cursed him in the morning while going to his business hub. To remove the curse, next morning he put 50 bucks in beggar's bowl and he felt that beggar would leave him from curse and he would be able to control his day himself. Actually, this was Sunil's conscious thought. Subconsciously, his thought was that he finally had an explanation for what's going on. He had successfully restored control and regained power over his life. By persuading the beggar to remove his curse, he felt that he could change his fate now. But the real fact is totally on opposite side. Soon you'll become slave of superstition. Reason number 6 why people are believing in superstition is lack of proof. According to psychological studies, after planting seeds of some beliefs in human mind, if you can't provide enough proof to support a particular belief, then that belief converts to superstition. For example, after very hard day and night work, 42 years Sardul uncle started to get big losses in his business. Somebody suggested him to hang 1 lemon and 7 chilies over the door of his shop, which may stop entry of bad luck in his shop. This superstition is running since olden days in our society. As per science, it says that in earlier days, holes of the shop were built from clay and there were lots of insects inside doors. Natural substances in lemon and chilies keeps these insects away. Nowadays, an old-fashioned pesticide alchemy has taken a form of superstitions. Friends, now let's talk about some practical ways to stay away from superstition. Step number 1. Understanding the human mind. We all know that some of the superstitions become reality in our life. For example, if 13th day of month falls on Friday, then it's a bad luck for Pranav. Crossing his way by a black cat makes something terrible in his life. Breaking a glass of a mirror is bad luck for him. Friends, why these things are becoming reality in Pranav's life? I will answer this question with explanation on how human mind works. Your mind was designed to selectively collect clues that proves its existing beliefs true. In other words, if you believe in bad luck by breaking a mirror glass, your mind will ignore all good events that happen on that day and will focus on the bad ones. This behavior of human mind is called placebo effect in psychology. In short, you are believing in superstition because it's a need of your mind, not because it's the truth. Step number 2 to stay away from superstition is to know about origin of the superstition. Most of the superstitions are running since olden days. For example, in olden days, people were used to hang a combination of a lemon and 7 chilies over the door of their home or shop to protect their home or shop from insects. In today's modern world, halls of our home or shops are built from cement concrete and there are many pesticides available in the market to kill insects. Believing in such superstition is just a foolishness. Step number 3 to stay away from superstition is to protect yourself from domination by others. People who are trying to dominate or control you, just think whether they are really capable of controlling your life or you yourself can control your life. Before going to some Baba for failure of your kids' education, think about Baba's knowledge in education. Step number 4 to stay away from superstition is to understand science and technology. In the modern world of science and technology, with your fingertip now you can also see and feel the world in your mobile phone or computer. You don't need to trust on any magical power. Try to understand technologies as much as possible. Use more and more technological gadgets in your day-to-day life. Step number 5 to stay away from superstition is to keep faith in God. God is ultimate in our life. Pray to God for whatever you need in your life. Always believe in God. Don't believe in superstitions. Because time, days, numbers, talisman, etc. are created by humans. Number 6 to stay away from superstition is to fight with it and be bold. Try to prove with your mind that superstitions don't exist in reality. Superstition is just a mental disorder. For example, if you believe number 13 as a sign of bad luck, then start doing all the activities associated with number 13. Initiate some auspicious occasion on some Friday which falls on 13th day of the month. Wear a jersey with number 13, draw a tattoo on your body with number 13 and see how your day passes. If you are not able to do all these activities at a time, then try to prove superstition wrong one by one. Step number 7 to stay away from superstition is to be positive. Try to maintain positive energy around you throughout the day. If you keep a smile on your face and if you are having some positive hopes for your future, then it will keep you stay away from superstitions. You should feel a fact deep inside your mind that you are personally responsible for every good or bad things that is happening with you. And you are the powerhouse to control all good or bad situations. While you talk with people, talk on how to finish a task instead of complaints. Write down 5 positive things that happened with you by end of every day. Step number 8 to stay away from superstition is your movement. If you keep on meeting people who are believing in superstitions, there is a chance for you to enter into the gates of superstition. But if you meet people who are not believing in superstitions, your thoughts will be positive. and that positivity will keep you stay away from superstition. Step number 9 to stay away from superstition is to meet psychiatrist. Friends, do you think you will not be able to break the superstition which is deep inside your mind? Do you feel if you don't believe in superstition, bad luck will follow you? Do you think your daily life is not possible without superstitions? If answer of all these questions is yes, then these superstitions are indicating that you are suffering from some mental disorder. In medical science, this is called obsessive compulsive order. If this is the case with you, then best way is to visit a psychiatrist. Don't feel embarrassed to accept the fact that believing in superstition is the biggest problem of your life. These superstitions have controlled your life from many aspects, so help your mind as soon as possible. Step number 10 to stay away from superstition is to keep a safe distance from cheater babas. Whatever problems that you may have in your life, for example marriage problems, love problems, family problems, kids education issues, or some unauspicious events that may occur in your life, keep a safe distance from babas who claims to remove curse and resolve these problems from your life. There are thousands of soldiers on country border who are sacrificing their life to protect us from external factors like terrorism, etc. If these cheater babas who claims to resolve all your life problems, why don't they do something magical to protect our country border? The martyrdom of thousands of soldiers will stop. Thousands of women will stop being widowed. Thousands of children's life will be protected. If these cheater babas can remove corruption from our system, country will get strength. Babas are not going to help you financially or in any other way. Just understand that they are playing with your emotions. So friends, stay away from these cheater babas. I hope you will follow knowledge of superstition in your life to lighten up your life with real faith. Instead of limiting this knowledge with yourself only, share this knowledge with your nearest and dearest friends, family and fellow country people. Let's move one step further together to build a strong nation. Friends, to make your YouTube experience wonderful and to receive notifications from WonderLife channel, please press subscribe button. You may like this video as well as you can write a comment as a feedback. And don't forget to share this video with your nearest and dearest friends, family members and fellow country people. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you.